Welcome back to the Black is Black YouTube channel. Got a three-way going on here tonight. Special effort on this one. I'm trying out a new platform using the Riverside software. I thought we were going to have three guests on, but turns out we only got two because we've got the Heart of Drakeness, Brad Drake, and I thought we were going to have Joe and Dave, the Unraveling Ilberys, but Joe couldn't make it. So, well, thanks for coming on, guys.
Hey, thanks for having us.
All right, well, I guess, Doctor, we talked a little bit here, warming up. I guess the question was, how you been doing?
Well, I've been doing good. I've been learning a new skill. I've been learning hypnosis, Rich. And I can actually do that over this platform if you like.
Yeah, sounds fun to me, huh?
Okay. All right. Look me in the eyes, Rich.
I'm looking.
Look me straight in the eyes. All right.
Let me look at the camera or look in your eyes.
All right. Now, Rich, if I click my fingers, you will forget you were ever gay. How do you feel?
I feel like I forgot something.
Are you still attracted to me? No, you're not. See? You're welcome, Rich.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Lord.
Behold the power of hypnosis.
Right?
Cured him.
Well, Dave, what's been going on with you?
Not much, man. Got out and voted Friday, so got that out of the way. Other than that, really just looking for a job right now.
Yeah, I in an effort to keep my show well balanced, politically anyway, I thought I'd be obliged to have a couple of Democrats on tonight.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah. By the way, what attributes are required to be a damn Democrat?
Well, the lobotomy helps.
Yeah, no matter how hard I've tried, I cannot seem to fit my head up my ass.
Right.
No, and Dave, I agree. But I really tried to get into the liberal mindset a couple of years ago. See, maybe I've got something to learn from them, seriously, and maybe I'm wrong. And I could not make sense of their philosophy at all. It was not logical. And then I realized, well, they do not go by logic; they go by emotion. Their thoughts and actions are ruled by emotion, whereas conservatives are ruled by logic, and that's our main difference. And so that's kind of what I thought, but I kind of agree with you, Dave.
Well, I even shaved my head to try to make it a little more slick to get up there, and it just won't go. So I don't know what to do other than that.
You know what?
Well, Rich,
go ahead.
Well, Rich, tell me, did you survive the hurricane that went through? Do you have any damage or anything?
Well, we had a little bit of damage. Had some fencing go down. Lost a few shingles off the house. Nothing serious. There was a lot of limbs down around here, but the flooding was the big thing. There was a lot of flooding going on. Fortunately, we were up on the mountain compared to the rest of Florida. We were 39 feet above sea level, so didn't have much to worry about there. But there was a lot of flooding going on, and I mean, the bad thing is when Helene came through, they were trying to get the debris out of St. Pete and Clearwater, and then Milton came along, and all that stuff had been stacked out on the street, and floodwaters came in, and it's just all over the place down. So it's been a big mess trying to get it cleaned up.
Yeah, I actually just got some limbs cleaned up out of my yard from Helene when she came through. I was down in Florida at my sister's for Milton when it came through, helping her get her house boarded up and everything. So fortunately, she didn't get a lot of damage. She just got mostly her pool got a lot of crap in it. Other than that, it wasn't bad at all.
Good.
Right. Good. Yeah. No, there. Like I say, down here, it was actually, it was like almost one event because the one hadn't really, completely cleared out before the next one came. And we were fortunate. I had a generator. We lost power for a couple of days, and I ran the generator to keep the fridges and the TV and the air conditioning going. But
Good.
almost got to have that. And speaking of generators, I'm not doing a plug or anything, but I've got a 9,000 watt uh, old school generator, and their guys are telling me about these new Predators that are inverters. It's clean electricity. It doesn't have the spikes and stuff that the old generators do, and so it's supposed to be a lot better for your electronics and stuff like that. But they're man, they're cheap. Harbor Freight, yeah, Harbor Freight.
Yeah.
They sell them, and they're like, I don't know, they're like $2,000 or something, you know.
Seen one in
Well,
there
that
that was
for
like, oh, I'm sorry, Doc, go ahead.
no, that's not too bad. I've got an old 7,500 watt Coleman that runs like a champ, and it hooks up the house, and it runs a few things, lights and furnace and a few plug-ins, but that's it. But it's noisy, and I'm sure it's got amp spikes on it too. But anyway, it's worked for years.
Right. What'd you say, Dave?
I was going to say, last time I was in Harbor Freight, I saw one in there. I think it was 13 or 1,500, something like that. Pretty good size one. I can't remember exactly what the wattage was on it, but yeah, they're not bad at all. But yeah, I need to get one here for sure.
Yeah, I'm after this last episode, I'm looked into being able to do a direct tap into my panel. It's a funny story about that. I'm looking at these interfaces. You mount a plug on the wall, and you can run your 220 volt from my generator to this plug and just plug in, and it's tapped into where a breaker would go, a double pole breaker, and the interface is like an interlock. You can't turn that breaker on until you turn the main breaker off. It's a mechanical. So you got to slide it up to turn it on, but you can't slide it up till you turn the breaker off. So I'm looking at my box out there, and I'm looking online trying to find something that matches my box, and I'm not finding anything. And so finally I went out there and I took the cover off to find out what brand of breaker panel I had. So it was a Square D, common brand. And so I come back in here, and I'm looking, and all of a sudden my brain clicked, and I said, damn idiots. They had put the entire breaker assembly in the box upside down. So my main was at the bottom. I was like, everything I'd look at, they showed it at the top where they normally are. And it's all upside down. So I guess it would still work, but I was like, man, oh man, I can't believe it. Spent an hour and a half digging around trying to find the right one for that.
Upside down.
Oh man, I tell you what, they build so fast down here. They throw these things up. It's
Oh,
amazing. Just since we've been down here, 5 years, 6 years, I've been down here in Tampa area in Apollo Beach, and I bet the population here has tripled. I mean, the traffic didn't used to be nothing. It's just jammed. There's 4-story apartment buildings going up left and right. The little 2-lane, Big Bend, when I moved here, it was 2-lane, east and west, that took me either to 41 or out to 75. And it's 6 lanes now.
Wow.
Yeah, I redid the whole interchange. Yeah. Well, anyway, off the subject, I want to get back on this political bullshit here. And first thing I was wanting to get a response on was, did any of you see that clip where Walls referred to Elon Musk when he came out at the Trump rally and did his little jump in the air, and Walls said he looked like a dipshit. Well, has he ever watched himself?
Well, I don't think Elon Musk is a dipshit.
No.
He's come out with 4 things in the past month that are pretty fantastic. And I'm glad that he's supporting Trump because it's the right thing to do. And his big thing, I think, is free speech. And because if Democrats get in, there won't be free speech.
No.
There will be a whole lot of censorship. And on all main boards, the legacy networks right now do it. But Elon Musk, when he bought X, and Twitter, and changed it to X, you wouldn't believe the corruption he found in it. It was an amazing amount of corruption, that government interference. And so I think that him supporting Trump's a good idea, and I don't think he's a dipshit. What do you think, Dave?
You know, I don't know if y'all saw this. I saw a clip today of John Kerry talking about free speech, and basically saying that, you know, because of all the social media out there, that it's hard for the government to control, you know, what the narrative is. So that was going to be one of the first things they go after, is the free speech. You know, they didn't word it like that, of course, but it was so we can regulate what goes on the social media courses or sites. I'm sorry. So yeah, they're definitely coming for it. I mean, now they're saying it out loud finally, at least. As far as Musk goes, definitely not a dipshit. I mean, the guy built a rocket that could park itself. You know, I mean,
Yeah,
that was
a tower
amazing
that
to
can
watch
snatch
that.
it out of the air and grab it.
Yeah.
Now, on that, I don't know if y'all saw this, but a lot of the liberals were saying, you know, oh, the film was just reversed. But if you notice, the not the main flame, but there's a little flame coming out the side of it. The flame is actually going up the side of the rocket, so you can see that it's actually going in reverse. So I'm like,
Right.
y'all just can't seem to, you know, you can't pull your heads out your ass long enough to see what's really going on here. So yeah, it's pretty interesting that Walls of all people calls somebody else a dipshit. It's like pot
Yeah.
meat kettle.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that was
Well,
pretty
I
funny.
think they know, Dave, but I think they know what they're doing. They know what's going on. They just want to change the narrative and know why to do it.
Exactly.
In every instance, political instance and social instance that I can see, they change the narrative to fit what they want people to hear. And those are basically lies, because they know right from wrong.
Well,
they know what's going on.
The perfect
Absolutely.
example of that is Biden's statement the other day when he said the only garbage he saw was Trump supporters, and they tried the famous apostrophe trick.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's a good analogy. Yeah,
That's
his
actually illegal too.
spokesperson.
They altered the official record, the White House record transcript.
Yes.
And
Yep.
Speaking of illegal, I think SNL, Saturday Night Live, is in trouble.
Yep.
They had Kamala on last night. They didn't give Donald Trump the same opportunity. And
Right.
this is right before the election. They knew what they were doing. They timed it so they wouldn't have to get him on.
Sure,
So I
I
think
believe
they're in
that.
trouble with the FEC, or the FCC actually, because that's a improper campaign donation.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Did you see
Equal
that, Dave?
time, and they made it like there's not going to be another Saturday night before the election, so they just
Yeah.
kind of played that card right up at the end.
Yeah, and like
Did you
Doc
guys
said, that
happen
was
to see-
obviously a planned thing for them to do that, because they had plenty of time. They could have got Trump on there if they wanted to, even for a few minutes, you know.
Yeah.
But
Well,
You're right.
they had the right script and everything, so it wasn't something like it wasn't a walk-on type situation where she knocked on the door and said, "Hey, I'm here."
yeah, the
me
thing
do
about
something.
Trump though is he don't go by a script.
No, he doesn't. No, not very often.
Well, she can't
Did you guys
talk at
happen to
all unless
see-
it's scripted.
No. Did you guys happen to see up in New York what happened the past couple of days? This little squirrel named Peanut.
Yes.
Okay, I don't know if our viewers know what's going on. This little squirrel named Peanut was an orphan squirrel, and this man caught as a baby and helped her along. Became a friend, became a TikTok and YouTube star. Now it's got over 500,000 viewers. Peanut the squirrel. This man also has a raccoon he rescued. Him and his wife rescued. So someone called the authorities because he didn't have a permit for them. So the authorities in New York, and I'm not sure which branch it was, got a court order, went in like this guy's a drug dealer with a bunch of agents, searched his house, got the squirrel and got the raccoon, and euthanized them within 2 hours. Now this is a pet squirrel and a pet raccoon.
Yeah.
And these people were held outside their house, not allowed to go in, where their whole house was searched. They were questioned like they were terrorists. And so now they can't do that to illegal immigrants, but they can do it to these law-abiding citizens that just didn't have a permit for a pet squirrel that he, saved basically.
Right.
That is outrageous. That's just totally.
Well,
If
my
you think the
question was,
government
why
would
did
never
they
do
have?
that, you're wrong.
Yeah, my question on it was, why did they have to euthanize them? If they removed them, fine, but rehome them.
I don't know. I don't
Right.
know. Or just turn
I
it
got.
loose, you know?
Yeah, I'm on TikTok and I watched a video of the homeowners. They kept them outside for 5 hours. The gentleman homeowner, he could only go inside to use the restroom if he was escorted. They kept the door open while he was in there. All this for a damn squirrel and a raccoon. I mean,
Yep.
can you imagine the tyranny that's coming if they win? I mean,
Oh,
this is insane.
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
is, David. And that's a good example of the government right now. Yeah, it's jackboots and SS squads. And if you don't comply, you're going to be canceled,
Yes, sir.
like that squirrel.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I had to laugh going back to the Biden thing. It's almost over the last few weeks. Obviously, she's distancing herself from him, but it's almost like he might be trying to sabotage her because he's come out with some gas that's not helped her at all.
Exactly. Did you see the one, his latest one about, he's talking about Republicans. He says something about, I want to smack them in the ass.
Yes. Yeah.
I
And
don't
then
think he has a
they're
cognitive
not,
ability to really derail her campaign. I think he's just a goofy.
Oh, yeah.
That's my opinion.
I'm thinking it was him had one the other day. Remember the one about I'd like to take him out behind the gym.
Oh, yeah.
Well, this one was I'd like to take him for a swim.
I haven't heard that one yet.
He's a
No,
tough
I haven't heard that
boy.
one.
He's tough. I'm
That's
telling you
kind of
now.
weird. It's kind of weird. Taking him for a
Oh
swim.
Lord. Well, I'm gonna throw some names out there. See what you think about them. Larry Fink.
Oh, boy. Yeah. That guy there, I don't know a whole lot about him, to be honest with you. I know enough to know that he doesn't need to be anywhere near Washington.
Right. Well, that's the problem. He's the big #1 shareholder in BlackRock.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
and the Susan
And BlackRock
Wagner.
is like,
Yeah.
and the Wagner, BlackRock is evil umbrella corporation that is run by the progressives.
Yes.
They are the strong arm branch of the progressives,
Right.
and BlackRock is not a nice group at all.
You know,
Well, in my opinion, they're the ones that's ruling the country right now.
oh,
They,
absolutely.
they own everything, including
Well,
the
and
I think
politicians.
I think there's a group of people that get together every morning, a big conference table, and they have, all right, let's start this meeting. How can we piss off Dr. Brad Drake today?
Right.
And that's the topic of the meeting. That's what happens.
Yeah.
Well,
states. Go ahead.
go ahead, Rich.
I was going to say, you've heard of State Street, another financial institution.
Yeah.
Well, its #1 shareholder, largest shareholder, is BlackRock. So,
Wow.
I mean, it's like it all comes down to Vanguard. I mean, it's like everywhere you look, I don't care what it is, at some point, they control who controls who controls. They're sitting
It
at
is
the
like
top.
Bill Clinton's daughter Chelsea is married to George Soros' cousin, and it's just an inbreeding of power throughout. I saw a list of all the people that are involved and intermarried that are in power right now, and the list goes on and on and on. So and so's wife is this. So and so's husband and cousin is the chairman of BlackRock. These are people that are in power,
Yep.
and it's just an inbreeding nepotistic society.
If you
Yeah.
want to read a good book written by Kash Patel called Government Gangsters. Now, he was in with when Trump was in office. He was put in several positions. That's why I'm stumbling around. But he takes you through each one of these and the corruption, like, for instance, the Department of Defense and the military industrial complex thing. and the millions and billions of dollars and how it's directed and how they subverted Trump's direct orders. He's commander in chief, but they physically subverted and did what they wanted to do. And he breaks it all down. It's a great read. Government gangsters and
sounds good.
Inside
Rich,
stuff.
Rich, what are your predictions on the outcome of the election Tuesday?
Well,
percentages and winners and Dave, I'd ask you the same question.
I think either way, there's going to be trouble. Now, if the Democrats win, I think there's going to be a bunch of pissed off people thinking, at least, that they have cheated in some way, and most likely have. We know their propaganda. We know their rhetoric. I mean, it's all right out there for you to see. So I think there'll be trouble over that. But I also think that if Trump was to win, the Democrats' ultimate goal is to put the pallets of bricks out again. And let's say, look, this is what happened when Trump, another insurrection or riots, and put the blame back over on Trump. So I think either way, we're going to see some activity, and I don't think either one of them's good.
What do you think, Dave?
Oh, I agree 100% with Rich. The Democrats, they always want to talk about, how Trump's the one, the election denier, so on. They don't want to, they find validity in Hillary doing the election denying back in 2016, and it was different when she does. Kind of like it was different whenever the Vice President Biden took the documents home. And so, yeah, I think there's going to be whichever way it goes, there's going to be way more division, I believe. It's going to get ugly. I think the Democrats, they're so they're so unpredictable. You don't know what they're going to do. And I think honestly, the only way that we are going to save the country is if we win all three: House, Senate, and presidency.
Oh yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, I agree.
You made a statement there that they're not predictable. Well, not quite predictable, but you can count on anything they say the right side's doing. That's what they're doing.
Exactly.
So you can kind of see where they're at by just how what they claim we're doing.
Yeah, they gaslight. Yeah. That's called diffusion and gaslighting. Yeah.
Yes.
I got to agree with both of you, but I do believe that, here's what I hope, and then I'll tell you my prediction. I hope that Trump wins in an absolute landslide. And the reason is because sometimes you need to kill a fly with a sledgehammer. And not just because of the fly, but all the other flies that are watching. And Kamala Harris being the fly in this instance, and the sledgehammer being the American voter. Now, I think this is what's going to happen. I may be wrong. But I think there will be several blue states that will be turned red. I think Trump will win the popular vote by 65 to almost 70%, somewhere in that region. And I also think he'll take over 300 electoral college votes. And I don't know how far over 300, but I think he'll reach over 300. And that's my gut instinct. Now, I could be wrong. Now, here's not a prediction, but an observation. I think this is the only time in the past 50 years that there's the possibility that the state of Illinois could turn red. And it's not a prediction, but it is possible this time. It's never been possible before. But people are so angry with the way things are.
Yes.
And this is the people I get. And the point, I'm in the middle of the Midwest, and it's where Dave and I are. And it's predominantly Trump country here. Now, I do have a lot of people I know that are Democrat, and a few absolute liberals. Actually, my best friend is a Democrat, and I love him. He's a smart guy, and we have great conversations. There's no animosity between us. But he did say, and this is one of the reasons that this adds credence to my belief, he did say that he's voting for Trump this time, and he hates Trump. He can't stand him, his personality. And I get that. Trump's a little bombastic and a little abrasive to some people, and if you already don't like him, those personality quirks are magnified, and that's human nature. So I understand. But if he's actually voting for Trump this time, because he can't believe what Biden has done to our country, then that's a pretty good sign of how optimistic I am about Tuesday. I really am. I don't have much fear. But anyway, that's my prediction, and that's kind of what.
Well, I hope you're right.
Everclear.
Yeah,
Everclear. Wonderful, by the way.
I heard, I forget now who it was somebody involved with the campaign that goes with the rallies. And they said that they typically always ask during these rallies at some point if there was any Democrats present. And they were shocked to see that 20-30% of the people raised their hands. And
wow.
In the as they go out the door or they call exit polls or whatever, they were asking a lot of those. So did it change your mind? Absolutely. We're going to vote Trump this year. So there's enough of them interested, want to get involved with that campaign. And I seen just today where Nevada, here in the last day or so, the turnout for registered Republicans far exceeded the turnout for the Democratic side. So,
good.
And I also think you're going to get a lot of people that will swear up and down they're a Democrat and they're going to vote for Harris, but they're going to turn around and get in that booth or fill out that card at home, and it's going to be a Trump vote.
I was just going to make that point.
That's why. Yeah, you're right. You're right, Dave. Rich.
Yeah,
I agree. I'm pretty optimistic. I don't know. What's your prediction, Dave? What percentage do you think? Do you think you'll 50, 49? I don't know.
I'm kind of along the lines with you because I was going to say I'm on TikTok, I'm on X, I'm on Facebook, and I watch a lot of people, just kind of what their reactions are, and I see a lot more Latinos and blacks that are they were Biden supporters before, thought he was going to be the big turnaround, and even going back to Obama, they were Obama supporters and thought the same thing of him. And now they're like, well, this time I'm voting for Trump because what we've had for 4 years, we're smart enough to see that, this is not what we want to continue with. So, I'm along the lines of you. I think possibly the 65 plus percentage. I think it's going to be a much bigger landslide victory than what these, so-called polls are predicting. I've never been polled myself, so they vote. I think they poll mostly in the blue states.
They're as rigged as anything else they touch.
Absolutely.
Rich, I was going to say, Dave, you hit on something that's very pertinent. I've asked a lot of people, have you ever been polled in your life, and do you know of anybody that's been polled? Everybody I've asked that in the past week because I was curious. No one has. They've all said no. I have never been polled. I know of no one, and I know hundreds and hundreds of people that have ever been polled. And I think Rich, I think it's a lot of it is fake. You go to a polling company and they say, oh yeah, well, here's our numbers, and most of them are made up and they get paid. Now,
right.
Also, I saw where on the last election, it was in a northern state, maybe Michigan, maybe Wisconsin, that the pollsters admitted changing that Trump was down by 3 points to 14 points. And the reason they did that is because if he's down by 14 points, people are going to say, well, it's cold out and he's going to lose anyway. I'm not going to go out and vote. So They were trying to change the vote by lying about the polls. And I think they do that now, too. So I agree with you, Dave. I think, and Rich, I think the polls are not accurate at all. And I think a lot of it is made up, like you said, Rich.
Yeah. Well, and a poll is someone asking a question. And I'm sure if you're that guy asking the question's going to be like, do you still beat your wife? You know what I mean? It's real easy. Like, yeah, okay, well. So,
yeah. Or are you still gay now, Rich?
Yeah, right. I was gonna say right at the beginning, and I had a few notes here on my screen, and one of them was, "Hey, I'm just thinking about it. I've never had a gay guy on my show before."
That's good.
Oh,
gosh. Yeah.
Moving on.
Well, you did say a three-way with Dave.
Yeah, that's right. All three guys too.
I'm all in.
He was
Oh,
he was even shooting for a 4-way. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, that's
North
funny.
Korea and Putin
North Korea?
sending
Oh,
10,000 troops over to Putin.
oh, God, yeah. That's a bad idea. It's kind of like us sending advisors in Vietnam. You know how that ended.
Hmm.
yeah, yeah.
Well, and we're
Yeah.
involved, of course. We're sending heavy bombers that way, aircraft
Yeah.
carriers. Uh, Man, I tell you what, talking about predictions, if Harris wins this thing or gets installed, World War III is
Installed.
right here. It's already started.
Yeah.
Yes,
We're
I
in a
agree.
And
proxy war now. We're in two proxy wars actually right now.
yeah,
And it's
yeah,
yeah, I can agree with you. It's just a tinderbox waiting to happen. Especially with Iran as a wild card.
right.
They can do stuff that they can still be really bad. And with nukes, they've got a lot of nukes. I think already in their stockpile. They deny it though.
Yes.
Well, I want to try to wind it down. I don't like these things getting too long. We're 30 minutes in, but I did have one
Okay.
more topic to talk about. Trump wins. The vote says he wins.
Okay.
Certification, not going to do it. 14th Amendment. Trump was involved in an insurrection. He's disqualified. What do you think?
I don't think it'll happen.
No, I don't think so either. I mean, it's never been he's never been found guilty of being
Never
of
charged.
creating an insurrection. He's never. I mean, so technically, I mean that really wouldn't fly. I wouldn't think.
Well,
You
here's the
know,
caveat on that. First of all, A, yes, you're right. He was never charged with insurrection. B,
it
he
never
was
happened.
never found guilty. But the wording in the 14th Amendment says engaged in.
He
So
didn't
that
engage.
makes me a little nervous. Now, you
He
said you don't
wasn't in
think
the
it'll ever
Capitol building.
happen, but Jamie Raskin spelled it out. There's a video clip of him explaining exactly how Trump's not going to get back behind that desk in the Oval Office.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I don't think that'll happen, but there's always people who are going to try. Actually, I know a lady that went to the January 6th insurrection, and her with a friend of hers, and she told me that the people who went to Capitol were not with their group and not with the main group, and they were encouraged and pushed and whipped into a frenzy by a few people. And she said she said it looked like a setup from the beginning.
Right.
It looked like she said, we didn't go near it. We didn't. And she said 95% of the people did not.
Right.
But that 5% that did, they're really suffering consequences of walking into buildings, the doors were laid open for them. So did this insurrection really happen? No, it didn't. Was there a disruption? Yeah. Was it? And in my opinion, it was fomented by the powers that be. And
Well,
at the time,
there
to
was
make
that
him
whole
look bad.
crew that was already at the Capitol building before the speech was over and the crowd moved that direction. There was
Well,
already people there that were instigating.
Right.
it might be a good thing for them to try it too, because you've got all this video out there of Trump saying, use your voices, be heard, but be peaceful.
Right.
The video of Nancy Pelosi saying that she's the one who decided not to send the 10,000 troops that he asked for. The videos of Capitol Police escorting these people through the White House. All that gets out and gets in front of a judge. They're going to be like, okay, well, who created this disaster? It wasn't him. You're saying that he was the one creating the chaos. This is organized. This is you guys letting these people in here, opening the
Right.
barriers for them to go up to the courthouse. So maybe
Well,
it might be for the best that they actually get that out.
And
That's a good point.
the biggest part of that crowd, if I remember correctly, they were so just, pillage and rampaging, but they were staying neatly between the velvet ropes as they walked
Exactly.
through.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Everybody's
The
in
poor
fear for
guy
their
that sat
lives.
on Yeah, the poor guy that sat on Nancy Pelosi's desk and put his feet on. How many years did he get in prison for that? 2 years in a federal pen, I think.
Something like that.
He did not. He didn't destroy. He didn't destroy anything.
No.
All right.
Ruined his life. Ruined his life.
Yeah, and the one with the horns, the Viking they called him, I think. I believe he's out now, if I recall. But I mean, there's literally footage of the cops, the Capitol Police walking him through, just unlocking doors for him and letting him in. So I don't see how. I mean, a lot of the culprit of the chaos that's going on is mainstream media. They've created a lot of this narrative because they're all owned by the left. So.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, our American people, they see something or they hear something and they run with it. They don't want to. They're too lazy to do research or whatever the case may be. But yeah, I don't. I hope this will wake people up. I don't know.
All right.
I hope so too. Well, it'll be an interesting day Tuesday.
What was that, Doc?
It'll be an interesting day Tuesday, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. I don't think we're going to have the full answer again on Tuesday night because of all the mail-in ballots and all that garbage. Personally, I think the only way we keep this straight is to make Election Day a national holiday.
Yes.
Vote on paper.
Vote on paper. Make sure you have voter ID.
Yep.
And
that's the only way to ever be secure again.
No, I got to agree with that. I got to agree.
All right, guys. Well, it was an interesting conversation, and I think this new platform is going to work out. I can't wait to see the product that it sends back to me. I was telling Doc, Dave, it's supposed to record up to 4K. And
oh, really?
I've got a 4K camera, but what I see on screen is not 4K. So what they're explaining to me is it's taking everything in 720 so it can transmit it. Mm-hmm. And then once it gets to the cloud and I download it back, it comes back in the higher resolution. So I'm anxious to see that. So
yeah, me too.
I was going to ask you, Doc, do you have a clear shot of Dave? Because he's been really fuzzy all night.
My image is right on his forehead. And I'm only getting about 2/3 of his face. And you guys are not even in 740. You're in like 320K. It's a little bit, but I'm sure when the product is done, it'll look good. This is just for recording purposes. And
that's what I'm
transmitting
hoping.
Purposes rather. And my image is very, very clear.
You look pretty clear, and I don't look like even 1080 on my screen.
Yeah.
But you look clear, but I noticed Dave's has been pretty pixelated a lot, and I was wondering, because if I look at the thumbnail when he joined, it's clear as a bell. I mean, it's pristine. So hopefully it all comes back and looks good.
Good.
Oh, yeah.
Well, so too.
Myself and Doc, we're crystal clear on mine. Rich, you've been that way with me, pixelated and stuff, and you've frozen up a couple of times.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, mine and Doc's pictures are crystal clear on mine. I'm just using my phone.
Good.
So
right. Well, my phone
I'm
camera is
using
probably
iPad.
better than the camera I got sitting on my desk. But
well, Rich, thank you for having us. Thank you.
I appreciate you guys coming on. It's a lot of fun, and you get to talk with like-minded people and discuss what's happening in the world today.
Yes, well, Rich, thanks for having me again, and I hope sometime that we get Charlie or somebody on here.
Oh yeah, well, I don't see that happening, but
I don't either.
He's been offered many times.
I might be able to find some people that, or even Doc, he might be able to. He said he's got some friends that he can actually have a discussion with about politics and stay friendly, and I do as well. Not many, but I have a couple.
Well, anyway, on this platform, like I say, it's brand new to me. First time I've used it, but it said something about not letting the participants go until uploading is completed. And that should only take a minute or two. But what I'm going to do is say adios, goodbye, and we're going to stop recording, but we'll still be here. And,
okay.
So I'm going to do that now. Thanks again, everybody, and we're going to take it out of record mode. Peace.